Hi, everyone. Benjamin here from English Classes Online. In today's lesson, our focus is on voiced and voiceless consonant sounds. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever a new video goes live on the channel, you will be notified instantly. Let's dive into the lesson right away. We want to begin with the lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to do the following. Number one, define consonant sounds. 2, explain voiced and voiceless consonant sounds. 3, pronounce voiced and voiceless consonant sounds correctly. And 4, give examples of how consonant sounds occur in English words. Let's begin with the first, which comes as a basic question. What are consonant sounds? Consonant sounds are speech sounds that are produced with either a partial or complete obstruction of the A passage. Now, let's illustrate with two speech sounds, and I want to show you how or what we mean by partial and okay. Let's begin with this, sorry. Then we will look at this one, okay. Okay, now to produce this sound, each of them, P and B, you have to have your upper and the lower lips closed. That is a complete obstruction of the A passage. In producing speech sounds, we use the A that originates from our lungs and which moves through the windpipe and enter through the pharyngeal cavity into the oral cavity, which is the mouth. And then at that point, when you want to produce the sound of P, something happens. The upper and the lower lips come together to form complete obstruction of the A passage. So the A that has come from the lungs and has entered your mouth is obstructed. So, and then as the A builds up within the mouth while the two lips are closed, suddenly you open the lips and then the air escapes with an explosion. That's how we produce the sound of P, and that's how we produce the sound of B. One of them is voiced, the other one is voiceless. We shall come to that. But I just want to explain to you what we mean by complete obstruction of the A passage and partial obstruction. Now let's begin with P. Now you see, my upper and lower lips will come together. Now watch it. P, you see, when I suddenly open my lips, the A escapes. P, the same thing happens when I produce B as a speech sound. Watch my upper and lower lips as well. B, B. So you can't produce any of these sounds with your mouth open or partially open. The upper and the lower lips have to come together and form a complete obstruction. Now, a different thing happens if we have to produce the sound of S, which is a fricative. Now, this one involves a partial obstruction of the A passage. let's assume I want to produce the sound of the word seed, seed. But then I want to produce the initial sound of seed. So I'm not producing the sound of the entire word. I begin with S. And so what do you find? Seed. So you can see to produce the sound of S, there is a partial obstruction of the A passage. And so because there are openings through which the A can pass, so the A keeps passing, you know, while I produce the sound. And then it produces the sound that you perceive as a hissing sound. All right. So that is how a fricative sound is produced. And we have seen that in producing P or B, we have a complete obstruction of the A passage, but in producing the sound of S, we have a partial obstruction of the A passage. So let's now continue. Let me clear the okay. Then let's look at other things. There are 24 English consonants. We are going to look at them. And there are two major groups, voiced and voiceless consonants, which is actually what we want to talk about in today's lesson. Then you also have to take note that consonant sounds are described, you know, according to three parameters. Number one, manner of articulation. That is how the sound is produced. And then number two, place of articulation, the organs of speech that are involved. And then the third one is state of the glottis, which simply means voiced. And that is what concerns our today's lesson, voiced and voiceless, how voiced sounds are produced, how voiceless sounds are produced. So that will be our main focus, okay? But just a brief description of this. Manner of articulation has to do with how the sound is produced. When I talked about how we produce B and P, the two lips coming together and forming complete obstruction, and then a sudden release, and the air escapes with an explosion. That is the manner of articulation, and that is why we call the sound plosive, plosive, P-L-O-S-I-V-E, you know, plosive. A plosive sound is produced in the same manner as we produce P and B, okay? And then when I talked about how S is produced, I did mention that it involves a partial obstruction of the A passage, and because the obstruction is partial, there are spaces through which the A keeps escaping through the mouth, and then you hear a hissing sound. So that is the manner of articulation, how the sound is produced. Then the place of articulation has to do with which organs, you know, which speech organs do we use in producing a particular sound. P and B require the upper and the lower lips, and that is why we call them bilabial, bilabial plosive. Bilabial means we use our lips to produce this sound. And then plosive means this is how we produce the sound, okay? And then talking about S, then you see it is fricative, okay? Fricative is the manner of articulation, okay? All right? And then that brings us to the state of glottis. And now that has to do with the voice. Now I'm talking about voiced and voiceless sound. I want us to demonstrate with a pair of sounds, P and B. Again, let me show you so that you can see exactly what we are talking about. We're talking about P, and then we are talking about B. Well, let me not put them on the same line. Okay. Now, P is voiceless. Okay. So let me show you this. Okay, sorry. And B is voiced. So let's watch how we really understand this. Now, place your finger on your Adam's apple, and your Adam's apple is the outward structure, and that's what we call it, but the internal structure is called the voice box. Okay, the voice box. So now, this is where voice is formed. Touch your Adam's apple. Just use one of your fingers and touch your Adam's apple. Now, when you produce the sound of P, now, while your finger is on your voice box, because this, what we call the Adam's apple here, is the outward structure of what is called the voice box. It is within here that you have your voice box. That is where voice is produced. Now, while your finger is on your Adam's apple, produce the sound P. P. Notice the movement of the Adam's apple, that lump on your throat. P. P. Now, produce the sound B and notice the difference. Your finger is still there on your Adam's apple, and then pronounce B. 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 Again, say P. P. Again, say B. B. What did you notice? I just want you to say exactly what you noticed when you produced each sound. What happened as your finger was placed on your Adam's apple? Yes. Now, what you notice is that when you produce P, there is not a major vibration with, on that particular voice box. But when you pronounce B, there is a major vibration. Okay? So we won't go into the deep technicalities of what happened within the vocal cords, the A passing through the glottis, and how the valve-like organ, which is called the vocal cords, either close or open. When you produce P, these two cords open and the A passes freely. So there is no friction, there is no vibration. But when you produce B, then these two valves come together, and then there is a kind of obstruction, and the A passing is having some difficulty, and there is vibration. So you produce voiced sound. So those are the two types of sound, voiced and voiceless, okay? Now, let's now move on to Let's now move on to look at other things that are important. I'm not going into details. This is the consonant chart, and I just want to show you. You can pause, and then you look at the chart. Here you have manner of articulation, which I earlier talked to you about. And here you have place of articulation, okay? So here you have plosive, affricate, fricative, nasal, lateral, approximant, okay? And then in terms of the place of articulation, you have bilabial, that is sounds produced with the lips. And we talked about P and B. And then you have M too, M, okay? Then you have W. You have labiodental, you have dental, you have alveolar, you have palato-alveolar, you have palatial, you have velar, you have glottal. Now, we are not going into all these, okay? But you can pause and look at it. Then let's look at voice, voiceless, and voice, because this is really the topic for today's lesson. And so these are voiceless consonants and these are voiced. So let's now begin to look at them. The sound T, T, and the word town, town. Then produce the sound D, D, and the word down. You will notice the difference between the voiced and the voiceless. The voiceless involves no vibration, and the voiced involves some vibration. Now let's go to K, 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 or if you like, K, 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 or Ka, Ka, coat, coat. Then G, G, K, K, G, G. You can see a remarkable vibration in the voice sound. Good, good, good. See the difference. Then let's look at the voiceless F and the voiced V. Now, again, your finger on your Adam's apple. Fan, fan, van, van. You can see the difference. Sleep, sleep. Z, 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 zip, zip. Sure, sure. J, j. Treasure, 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 sh, sh. All right? Cha, ch, chain, ch, chain. Tie, tie. That, that. You can see the difference. So this is what we simply mean by voiceless and voiced sound. Okay? Now let's look at other important aspects of this lesson. And at this point, I want us to look at we just go through the 24 consonant sounds in English, and we look at words, how these sounds occur in English words, okay? That's what we want to do right now. P, pie, sports, tart. B, buy, lab, bribe. M, my, smart, lamp. Or F, far, awful, laugh. V, veer, even, of, far, far, tie, with, thy, the, thy, other, that, T, tie, mat, stop. D, die, lad, mobbed. Knee or N, nigh, sunny, man. Or S, sigh, pass, rice. Z, or Z, zap, lose, beds. R, or R, rye, bar, far. L, lie, sell, slap. Or shy, nation, machine. G, azure, vision. Then we have child, watch, church. G, as in judge, gene, lodging. J, as in year, beautiful, cute. K, as in kind, think, and school. G, as in guy, lag, eggs. Ng, as in bring, gong, and angle. H, as in high, happy, and who. W, as in why, wish, and award. So these are the 24 consonant sounds, and we have looked at the English words in which they occur. I hope you actually enjoyed today's video. If you did, then make sure you like the video and share the video with your friends and relations. If you are new entirely to the channel and you have not subscribed to the channel, this is the appropriate time for you to click on the subscribe button and make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and then click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever a new video goes live on the channel, you will be notified instantly. You may find time to browse through the description section, and you'll find links to different resources that will help you in learning various aspects of the English language. And there are also other resources that will help you to learn some content creation skills, because we believe that there are two things that we can do with English teaching and learning. So that is why on this channel, we do two major things. Number one, we teach you the English language. We show you how you can use the English language for effective communication. And then number two, we teach you how you can use the English language to create content, and that will help you to make a living, because what I'm doing on this channel is creating content that will give you value, okay? And that is why you tune into this channel from time to time, because I provide value in terms of teaching you various topics, okay? Now, once you can create valuable content that people will love to listen to or watch, then you have the right to monetize this content and begin to use them to earn income. So if you are interested in learning how you can create content and monetize your content and use your content to create multiple streams of income on various online platforms, then you can learn that also on this channel. Number one, you learn the English language itself, and while you learn the language and you gain proficiency in it, then you can also learn how you can use this same language as a tool for creating content, because there is no greater tool for creating content than the language itself. And so those are the major things that we teach on this channel. And if you are interested in any of them or both of them, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like our videos and share our videos. Make sure you click on the bell icon so that you can activate the notification system, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be instantly notified. And that means that you won't miss any of our videos whenever they are uploaded. Now, if you want to sit for IELTS, IELTS, which is an international English language proficiency test, or you want to go for the alternative to IELTS, which is called Duolingo English Test, we have training programs. Just check the description link and click on any of them. There are ebooks and there are courses that will also help you to learn different skills. Just click on the one you want and you will have access to it. So I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being part of today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, kindly leave them in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Goodbye for now and remain blessed. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video. Thank you and remain blessed. Okay? And this brings us to the end of today's lesson. We have been looking at the voiced and voiceless consonant sounds.